too many opportunities to score, and UVA took advantage of it. 19 kills is unreal for one set.
It's a high shot from Dean in the middle there for Virginia to give Louisville the first point. That's something you alluded to earlier in the match, that they're going high on these shots very frequently. And maybe Louisville might be wise to lay off the block just a little bit.
Well, and I think it's important blocking-wise, right, sorry, I stopped with a little bit of a collision on the court. It scared me. High isn't the top priority. To me, over fast is the top priority. If you're over fast and you're high, then great. That's a tremendous block. So I think to stay disciplined and controlled and not worry about an attacker swinging high, you just take away a part of the net that you're supposed to take away, and get over fast is key. And then you let the attacker decide.
It's 3-0 Louisville to start the fourth. It's one of those questions, Molly, about momentum. Obviously, Virginia will be very confident to have taken the third set off of Louisville, but that wave that Louisville was riding to cut it down to 1 at the very end there may have carried over into this fourth a little bit.
Absolutely. I think when you're in a position, the score was 24-19, I think that's what we were at. You know, in volleyball, how it plays out and what you expect, you wouldn't expect the team at 19 to come back and win. So at that point in the match, as a coach, you're just telling your team, hey, we keep it simple, we go back to basics, and you do anything you can to pull that momentum back on your side so that you are on the upside of things to start a set. And you could see that.
Chicoine off the block. Bowie pleading her case. She wants her coach to go to the green card, and Shannon Wells has picked it up and has challenged that last point to see if it was touched or not.
Yeah, I did not see that off of Chicoine's head. I missed it if it happened. I thought it was a clean shot out of bounds, so seeing the replay will help us a little bit here.
Virginia is challenging that it hit the Louisville attacker on the way out of bounds.
Yeah, so we'll see. I didn't see that at all. Let's see if we can see from this replay shot.
Might have been off the hair, but
yeah, I'm not even, you know what always gets me is when people talk about, oh, did you see a change of direction on the ball? I think I've yet to see any change of direction in a ball in a replay. It's really hard for me to see, but I don't see it from here. I don't know. Sometimes those things are like, you in the moment, I just didn't see it in the moment. We obviously were kind of behind on Chicoine there. We were on the other side of her. See if this angle gives us any better visual.
it just might, to see if it changes direction. Maybe there off the shoulder, but the antenna is really well placed from a Louisville perspective. And this is one of those situations where the truth of the matter is secondary. It's about what evidence there is to make the call and to overturn the call on the floor.
I love the shot. I mean, from a volleyball standpoint, it's just a really great swing. You can see how high this block is for Virginia. Look at Bowie up there, eyes at the tape.
Do we have any other angle?
It's really difficult to tell. And this may be one where the call just stands. It's neither confirmed nor denied. We'll see. Here comes the call.
After review, the call will stand. Virginia will lose their challenge. Louisville retains the point.
Yeah, I didn't see it live. I didn't feel it or even have that instinct of, it hit her. I didn't feel that at all, but it was just near impossible to be able to see that in the replay, if it were a touch.
So Louisville ahead 4-1 now as Chicoine serves. And Bowie scores for Virginia.
Yeah, you've seen UVA attack the seam of the block a lot. tonight, more so that I've seen the kill production from opponents against Louisville be able to attack the seam. So I'm not sure what that is, and maybe it is that fast offense. You know, it is so hard to close. The pro of the fast offense, you really challenge your blockers to be able to close a block. I mean, it makes it near impossible. I think the con is then you also force your attackers to be stuck to one shot. You know, they kind of get the ability to only hit one shot on a fast set.
Peterson up to 11 kills for Louisville, second behind Blackshear. 3 Louisville players with 10 or more, including Chacoin. For another point to Virginia. And Innist, who leads them with 11 kills, will go back to serve. Make it 12, as a matter of fact, for Reagan Innist. It was touched, and it's a Peyton Peterson kill off the fingertips of UVA. And a Kinney. Innist, who was touched by Cressy. And now killed by Cressy.
Great swing here by Cressy. You know, the opposite of the fast offense. This is not a fast slide, but when you have the length of Cressy, I feel like that's the set that a player like that needs. Something up in the air that they can take all that length up to go get.
And that's in from Cressy. The lighter touch from Kara this time gets the job done.
Kinney has a really nice serve, and you can see has moved it around quite a bit. I would like to see her stay back on that serving line as long as possible.
And a timeout for Virginia as Louisville has taken an 8-3 lead. Will step aside as well. The Cards up 2-1. The ABCA Top 25. We were having the conversation on Friday, Molly, about this being a deeper conference than it has been in years past, but with that depth comes the potential for upset, like we saw Miami against Pitt on Friday, and like we might be seeing today with Virginia trying to reverse sweep Louisville. It is a stronger conference altogether.
Absolutely, and the stronger your teams and conference get, the stronger everyone gets, right? You get to play a higher level of team when you go out to play. You get lots of opportunities to play top 25 teams, and that's a way to build a program and get it better, is to see that higher level of competition so you know what it looks like.
Out of the timeout, Peterson. A couple of good block touches for Virginia. Peterson again. This time gets it through. And Virginia all over the place to get it over. And Louisville takes advantage with Cressy.
Yeah, good play. I still think this is a little bit, caught the tail end of it there. A little bit of a broken play. Kinney kind of does a quick touch on the ball.
Louisville moving quickly, and they get another point here on an easy one from Cressy again. And they continue to move quickly with Hannah Kinney trying to put Virginia on its heels, but Virginia answers with Cadence Booth off the block.
Yeah, and I think that was very intentional. So Kinney is ready to serve as soon as the R1 blows the whistle. She's ready to pop it over. You could see UVA side out there with that extremely fast set. It was so fast out to the outside, and just one little smack on the block out of bounds for the kill.
Missed pass from Cabello to Cressy. Not something you see very often. And the mistake awards a point to Virginia, and those two getting on the same page.
No, and that's tough for us to know. Was the call made or missed by the setter? Was it made or missed by the attacker? That's the second one tonight, a miscommunication on the offensive run.
Point goes to Virginia. Shannon Wells was reaching for the green card before the call was made, and now Dan Meskey might do the same on the other side. And he is going to challenge without the official green card picked up there.
Louisville is challenging that there was no black touch.
Oh, just missed her.
Seems relatively clear, especially after we had a pretty contentious challenge a few moments ago.
And you can see from that first view, it goes right between Cressy's hands. I mean, that, but no touch. I don't see anything.
Okay, so we're going to reverse this. Thank you.
Here's the call.
After review, the ball was out. Point will go to Louisville, and they will retain their challenge.
So another successful challenge from Dan Metzke. He's been successful every time he's challenged the call today. 11-5 our score now as the point goes the other way. And Shannon Wells asking for an explanation. They are asking, we could hear it, Molly, can you challenge the challenge? The answer is no.
Correct, and I think they were just questioning the view. How could they get, what view did they have of that shot? But you could see the back wall camera gave us a very clear view of that call.
Quick one there from Booth, creative as well. Rather than taking the full swing, she just slapped at it, was able to score.
Yeah, I think this fast offense has taken U of L's blocking a little bit out of the situation there, out of the play, and in that play, it's almost a non-factor. The setter moves so close to Booth outside, it was almost just like a touch quick set, and she just ends the volley with the ball to the ground.
Cressy. And Virginia pleading.
Yeah, I did not see it hit the antenna. I thought she just hit it off the tape. I did not see the ball hit out of bounds there. So they were asking that Cressy slide set as she went up and swung down the line, that it clipped the antenna, but I saw it hit the net pretty good, but I didn't think it was anywhere close to the antenna.
Molly Wilson back to serve for Louisville as she's done a few times today. The transfer from Washington, backup setter. An overpass, and there is Sherman for Louisville.
Yeah, more of this. I think this is what Louisville's going to be looking for, and I'm sure talked about in between sets 2 and 3. Put a ton of pressure with your serve on this team and take that fast offense out of their hands, right? If you're allowing them to put the setter up anywhere in the center of the court inside the 10-foot line, the speed is so fast, it's hard to defend.
Sherman. It'll come right back to Louisville. Chacoin sets Cabello right back to her. And it's Booth again.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw that, but I actually thought Chacoin's swing was going to score there because Barrier went completely out of the picture, diving off to the side of the court to make a saving play, and then came right back in to dig Chacoin's outside attack.
And then Booth a little shaken up after that one. Trying to see if she can walk through it. Maybe cramping. Booth now leading Virginia with 13 kills on 32 swings, a .250 hitting percentage with 5 errors. She's got 6 digs, 2 blocks, and 2 aces as well. A full stat line for Booth. And a big reason why Virginia has been so very competitive in this match, taking the third set and losing the second by just 4 points.
And I've seen this team from watching film too, and I didn't know if it just happened to be the matches that I chose, but you can see it here live. They find a way to smile about everything. I mean, you could see Booth kind of giggling at herself and apologizing for the cramp, and the team really seems to enjoy each other, and they find find a way to stay positive in all the situations that they've been in. A small observation that I've seen out of several matches from this team.
There's a look at what Virginia has coming up. Back-to-back against Virginia Tech in the in-state rivalry. Florida State, a strong program in the ACC. Then they get a look at Miami. How high will they rise in the rankings after their victory over Pitt? Georgia Tech, a strong program as well. So the confidence that they will take from this one will play a big part.
Exactly what I was going to say. I think, you come out in a match like this and how you're playing right now, no matter how this match ends, you have to gain a lot of confidence and learn a lot about yourself. And I think what a great schedule, forward looking to what they have coming up next, that the experience in this match will no doubt prepare them for these next 5 matches that they have coming up. I think that's exciting.
Booth forced to go back to the locker room, and that is going to bring Tegan Hogan off the bench for her first action today. Sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina. Chicoine just slams that one down.
Using a little bit of UVA's playbook against them. I like that. That's a faster set than what we've seen to Chicoine for the rest of the earlier in the match. And she just throws it straight to the ground. Again, there's really no defense for that play if executed properly.
Louis, too much for Cabello. Ricochets off the rafters behind the court.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that serve. Going and attacking Hogan right there. She's played a significant amount of time in the libero jersey as well. I'm surprised U of L didn't attack Innist on the outside over there passing and put some pressure on her. I don't know if you've noticed tonight, but every single one of UVA's primary servers has the ability to serve from 2 different spots on the court. So mainly, either on the left side or the right side, nothing too tricky, but they can move anywhere from the back line and seem to be pretty comfortable and have fairly equal attempts from different spots. So it helps give different angles on the serve and what you're forcing the passing team to do.
And like you've pointed out, that's been a big part of why Virginia's had success today is their game behind the service line. Robinson up high for 2 hands for that one.
Well, that was a close one too. I thought maybe she went over the net on that one, but clearly she didn't. Zach has the best view in the house for that call, the R1.
Blackshear driving it down. And another opportunity for the Cardinals. Blackshear again. And another great dig from Reeg. Chicoine underneath that one. And Peterson will have the attack. Reeg again flying to the floor. Innist scores for Virginia. A great rally.
Yeah, that's tough. Peterson... I really like the tip in that situation, but she tips to the backcourt defensive specialist, with only a 2-hitter situation and a front row setter. So it puts the ball in the setter's hands really fast. I would put Innist on the floor in a heartbeat. That's where my tip would be going.
Peterson misses.
I was just thinking to myself at 15-8, 14-8, I think, if I'm Coach Meskey, I'm still not completely comfortable in the match, at that score. And then, here in a heartbeat, we're at 15-11. So
I'm not sure anybody's comfortable with anything right now. It's another miss from Peyton Peterson. Louisville still hitting close to 400 on the afternoon. But that hitting percentage starting to dip lower and lower.
And there's no grandiose plan that has to happen here. Really, you just know and remember what your systems are. You go back to keeping things simple. I think a lot of times players feel like if things aren't going their way, they have to do more. There's this feeling of I have to do more, I have to do more. No, actually, just do your job. In these moments, that's as simple as the game can be. Just play the game the right way, do your job and what's expected of you, and usually things turn in your favor. If you're trying to do more, it's too much in your head. It's against everything you've trained for.
A wild ricochet and more wild play in this game that's seen some wild stuff. It ricochets off the antenna from Cabello, and it's another point to UVA.
Yeah, and another fast set out to the outside. I think the speed is chopping things up for Louisville, and you can see Cabello reading the tip and kind of charging in. Maybe she should hold a little longer, know the tip is coming and relax, and then play out of it.
Ennis has to bump it over. Chance for Louisville here to get something clean. The pass was a little behind Blackshear, but she gets it done anyway. Those long arms at 6'5", making a big difference there for Calissa Blackshear, the true freshman who's having a career afternoon with 20 kills.
Yeah, and you can see that play as it developed, that U of L is just a little bit out of sorts. So Jacoin takes an easy free ball. She pulls Cabello to the 10-foot line or just inside on a ball that they're typically used to just being, boom, this beautiful rhythm up to the net. And then Blackshear gets a set that's off the net. So just a little off.
Cressy is very much on right there.
Right, and there's back to the basics for you. Just put Cressy up in the air on the net. She's going to score for you. There's no magic, nothing special that needs to be changed.
That one over the block. Another chance for Louisville as Peterson trying to go with the lighter touch there and misses once again.
I like the idea. And that time, I think she had a better vision of what was going on there. The defense was all the way backed up down the line, so had that hit the court, she definitely scores.
Cressy. 14th kill for Kara Cressy. That's second behind Blackshear.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. That's what I would say for the rest of this set. 6 points.
Virginia's done a great job of making it more complicated for Louisville than maybe they would have expected. There's more like it from Peyton Peterson with the power that draws oohs and ahs from the crowd.
Yeah, and you know what I love about Cabello, and I've said this so many times, is, Peterson, my guess, watching her enough and knowing her, is probably a little bit frustrated with her attacking. Okay, if I'm a good player, that's an okay feeling to have, but you have Cabello that says, oh no, you're going to score for me, and I'm just going to give you something a little different, right? So I'm going to give you a back row attack so I can let you come up and rip that.
Cadence Booth back into the match after suffering that injury earlier in this set. She's been the difference maker for Virginia, 13 kills, second behind Ennis, who is errant with that swing, and Louisville closing in on a hard-fought 4-set victory.
Now, I don't know about you, but this set feels a lot tighter than what the score is. I can, as being a spectator, you kind of feel wow, great volleyball, on both sides. There's no way that UVA is going away right now. I feel like Louisville still has to put in some work to finish 4 points. It does not feel like it's over.
Well, in some ways, this is maybe what Dan Meskey would have wanted from for his team heading into what they have next weekend, a proper test, a real challenge, which they've gotten from Virginia because they're going to be challenged again next week. SMU and Pitt, 2 top 10 opponents. We talked about Miami defeating Pitt. Where does that move the Panthers in the AVCA rankings? We will see, but they're still very likely to be a top 10 team come next week. And Louisville, there will be no sleepwalking into that weekend gauntlet after what they faced today.
Not at all. And that's such a funny, I love the thought process, because it is true. Okay, is that something that Coach Meskey wanted for his team? Or, after a big loss, I would get asked, hey, but that's something that you probably needed, to bring. And I think it's something more as a coach that you appreciate. Okay.
Okay, that's a good word for it.
I don't ever want to get my tail.
That's fair.
But I do appreciate these moments because it's really, really tough in a practice scenario when you know your teammates better than anyone. I know what shots everyone's going to hit. I know what their tendencies are. I know what makes them uncomfortable. I know what makes them comfortable. So to create this level of kind of tension in the air that you can feel, it's really hard to do in practice. So you can certainly appreciate these matches and learn from them and build for the upcoming schedule that you just mentioned that U of L has.
You would know this better than I do, but the cliche you hear from coaches as Cressy scores off hands to move to within 3 of closing this match. The cliche you hear is it's easier to teach from difficulty than it is to teach from an easy match, to teach from success. There will be a lot that Louisville can look at on film this week from this one to grow and learn from this experience that UVA has given them.
There is no question, and I think there's a fine line, right? Like you have to learn. The best learning tool, you're right, is to learn from your mistakes, to be put in pressure situations and feel it. But I do think as a player, when you go back to review those things, you want to focus on the things that you did well. I don't want to go back. Maybe I want to watch the things I didn't like and I didn't do as well as I thought. But I don't want to harp on those. I don't want to watch that over and over. I want to go back and see the things I did well and recreate that, not attempt to try not to do something.
Louisville 2 points away with an 8-point margin as Peyton Peterson serves an error there to give it back to Virginia. Tanna Scott, who has a pair of aces and 18 assists. Back to serve. An overpass, and there's Bowie.
Yeah, there's that drop serve short. Tisha Coyne being the front row outside right now. Trying to put a little bit of pressure on her at the end of the set, maybe, and continuing those short serves that drop in.
Cressy off the block. And the fans will come to their feet now, maybe a little later than they initially anticipated. As Louisville is a point away from clinching this match and closing out a victory against Virginia and extending that oh so very impressive home winning streak in this building. But they won't do it yet.
That's tough, but all you do is settle in and you just side out. It's one side out. This match is U of L's, but you just settle in, side out.
And that is how it ends. On a service error